Can you see that? I don't know whether you wanted to.
Yeah, just. There we go, UKBL. Right there, folks. Very nice indeed. See, now Jack is very fortunate because he has 258s, whereas I have a 52. That's the one you sold me, isn't it?
No, you got them from, didn't you?
Yeah, and I've been looking for a 58 for a very long time, still hunting. But we know somebody else, David, who had a UKBL. So yeah, they are very nice indeed.
Rare,
very rare, very rare, very expensive.
You can't. They seem to go in phases. I seem to every so often, every couple of months, there'll be 2 or 3 pairs come up for sale. Yeah, something like that, and then they go.
And the thing is also is that because the UKBL is on the underneath. You're not necessarily, you might just see an ordinary old aviator, but you're thinking it's just an ordinary old aviator.
Very, very, very rarely will they.
So unless the seller is actually advertising it as a UKBL, it's going to be very difficult to find one. More than likely, there's probably quite a lot out there. It's just the fact that they're not advertised as UKBLs, so that's why they're very rare and expensive.
This one, is it this one? No, this one. I got.
And the case is beautiful. Just look at that green on that shimmering green.
Yeah,
beautiful case.
So I even got a receipt with this one. Weirdly, for a late 50s pair, they were sold in the 70s.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
So 27th of the 5th, 1970. It's obviously from an army, uniform store. Ray-Ban specs.
Look at that for provenance, people. You can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. Very nice.
Yeah. So, it's really difficult not to say they're my favourite.
Yeah.
And I think if there was anything a bit sort of more, not special enough, because they are special, but if there's anything a little bit more to them, if they had Bakelite, something like that, if they were, if they had Bakelite, if they had something else, something a little bit more kind of to them, then maybe I'd say they're my favourite. But kind of going back to your question, I'd have to say this frame, and maybe even with those lenses.
So we've got DGMs here.
Yeah, so RB2 DGMs.
Okay. Look at the front
again. When do you ever see them?
Never. Basically.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But they were an old pilot who served over in Montreal, I think it was. Let me grab his case.
And once you come back, I want you to just show our viewers the difference. So the temples are different. The nose bridge is different as well compared to a modern pair of aviators.
So temples, they call them marbly ones. So they're, it's a marble kind of design to them and feel to them.
Yeah. And the temples are much thicker as well.
Yeah, they kind of go square.
Yeah.
And a tiny, tiny little design detail. Again, absolutely love it. If you ever unscrew the screw on the end tip of the arm, you'll have like 1 in 10, 12k stamps in there.
Okay.
Beautiful little detail.
I think I've got a picture of that, which I'll put up for the viewers.
I mean, I might have another pair in there somewhere, but again, I don't know if you can see it, but on the back of the nose pads there's B&L just stamped in there.
I'm not going to go in because it's okay.
Most of them, this one doesn't because it's I think slightly earlier, but most of them will have just Ray-Ban stamped on the top.
Okay.
Which normally, have B&L, Ray-Ban USA for the newer ones. Just Ray-Ban. It sort of signifies the age of them.
Yeah.
The 1953 poster up there, which has always kind of made me really like this early pair because that's what they are. There's an RB2 top gradient mirror. They've got the same nose pads, they've got the same arms. And look for the name on the frame. That's when they started introducing that Ray-Bans just stamped on the top to prove authenticity.
Yeah.
That's And I think that's why I really love these ones, because they're that early
They suit
model.
you. They suit you, yeah.
They're a nice pair. RB2, these are the top gradient mirrors. The double gradient mirrors are so rare.
You want to put those on again for us, please, Jack? That's it, thank you, mate.
They're a beautiful model.
Yeah, they're lovely.
And
nice.
They're harder and harder to get in perfect condition because they're so old.
Yep, absolutely.
Getting them in, you know, that kind of look, that kind of condition, so hard. With the original cases, you know, you get these early cases, the flat top B cases.
See that flat top B right there?
Makes all the difference to them.
Yeah.
And they're just lovely, lovely. So I think it's, like I said, it's really difficult.
So sorry about that. So battery went dead. So we were just talking about the early 1950s aviators, and just about the difference about them and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So whilst we're talking about cases, actually, there are a lot of different cases that were developed and brought out, as well as the sunglasses. So can you just show me a few cases that you have? And I know there's a lot. Maybe I can see a Roland Garros one there, very rare.
Yeah, so Roland Garros, 1992. Where are we? Here we are.
Look at this. So that's a disc, yeah. That's an actual separate disc.
Yeah. So there's, you know, it's like, you know, it's like a ultra, it's like a general case, the whole sort of cowhide, top grain cowhide cases, just with a different stamp on, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a combination between sort of masterpiece and general to a certain extent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, these are by far not perfect condition.
At least you have a pair.
But
I'm
yeah,
still
that's the
looking
thing,
for
you
mine.
know. I picked them up a year or so ago.
Okay.
They come in 58 and 62.
Okay.
I'm a 58 guy, but these are a 62. But
Okay.
there's a few pairs I'm willing to keep the 62
Yeah.
if they're that rare.
Yeah. And Roland Garros are one of those that is very rare.
Yeah. I think they're rarer in 58. Weirdly
It
enough.
wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I just know them as rare because I've been collecting for 4 years, and I've only ever seen 2. Yeah, I mean, and I hunt. I'm a hunter, and I've fucking never seen.
I got lucky. Like I said, they weren't in great condition. I chugged them in the ultrasonic cleaner. It cleaned them up pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah. So you can see a different nose pad as well, with the full Ray-Ban logo or inscription in the nose pad as well.
Yeah, and then obviously the raised logo.
Raised logo as well. If I just go there, as you can see there. Very nice.
So yeah, you get the Roland Garros. If you're talking about sort of cowhide cases, there's a few variants. So the Ultra one, so that's the Ultra logo that goes obviously with the Ultra pair.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll have precious metals and generals, which are pretty similar. There's gold tone ones and there's silver tone ones.
Okay. Hang on.
Sorry.
So what's this top one?
That one I think will be a general.
Okay.
Same as that.
Yeah.
That's a precious metals. Slightly more silver sort of tone.
So how can you tell the difference, or is it a matter of they just come with the glasses?
Yeah,
so you
most
know,
of the time. There's a difference in sort of wording on some of them, sort of impact resistant lenses, and then other ones will say sunglasses by Bosch and Lomb.
Okay.
But it's not 100%. Most of the time, if it's a silver tone, it's going to be a precious metals. Because generals is gold.
Yeah.
They do have 2 different types of tags on them. I mean, buttons on them. So you get a thicker one and you get a thinner one. One that's more like a sheet, and one that's an actual sort of button that's been pushed into them.
That's much thicker than that one. Yeah.
And then obviously for the first edition, that's another ultra. For the first edition generals, you're going to have one with a 50 on it.
So when you say first edition, are we talking both block and italic, or
block?
Block. Okay.
So these are a first edition.
Have you got block? Have you?
and there's a difference in the logo, obviously.
So this is what we mean by block first edition. As you can see, the 50 is like block lettering.
Yeah. And there's a difference in the arms compared to another sort of deep groove style sort of thing. Let me see if I can show you. So if you see the end where the hinge hits, it's quite short.
Okay, yep.
The difference in a newer one is there's going to be a longer hinge, and that's how you can tell the first editions.
Okay.
First editions will have a short arm.
Interesting. Now I didn't know that myself. Okay.
I believe the blocks came back out in later years.
Yeah.
But they'll have a different arm.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
But obviously, yeah, if they've got a RB50 sort of case.
Yeah.
On that, it'll make all the difference. So yeah, you get all the cowhides are all kind of similar. I mean, there's variations in the internal kind of colouring for some of them.
And do any of them all have the patent pending?
Yeah, they should do. Actually, that one doesn't. That one does. That's got patent pending 4. But that's an ultra, so they're obviously a little bit later.
Yeah.
But it's with the Ray-Ban world, as we all know, it's never 100%.
Yeah.
You know, you get variations of everything.
Yeah.
You've got ones that are stamped top grain cowhide.
Yeah.
Like that, and then you got ones that won't be.
Yeah. And do we think that may be where they were assembled, or
I'd say
so each factory was different? So maybe the US ones were much fuller, and then the licensed ones, licensed factories weren't for whatever reason.
You know, there's years and years of knowledge out there that is kind of lost to a certain extent. You know, the internet wasn't what it was. You know, it wasn't even invented for the majority of the sort of time when Bosch and Lund were kind of going.
Of course. And also, it's very difficult to find ex-employees. I mean, if you go to Ray-Ban, Luxottica Ray-Ban, they haven't got a fucking clue what they, you know, they don't know anything about the old brand. So yeah, it's very difficult to get that information out there.
And then even you get the odd employees here and there, but they weren't there for the period. I mean, they were just working in their factory on their particular line or something. So it's going to vary from place to place and person to person.
I mean, I remember when we got a lot of information a few years back, and I got a lot of my information from the tax papers when at the time Bosch and Lund were going through various court dealings. And obviously, when you go through court, you have to discuss about the history, how it works, you know, all of the money and all that stuff. And we got a lot of information from that, didn't we? And at the time, I tried to look for, because they had annual reports as well. And I think I picked up about 4 annual reports, which gave us a bit of information, but very difficult to get all the others, you know. And we're talking about a company from 1937. These annual reports were like 1970s. So you're missing 40 odd years of real important information, you know. Very difficult.
Yeah. So, you know, people kind of cobble it together over the years, but it's debates. You're always going to have these debates. Yeah. You know, I'm going to think something slightly different to someone else because I've heard something, I've read something, I've picked something up, I feel something in a pair that I've got here. Yeah. And then I'm going to say that to someone else, and they're going to go, "Well, no, I think that's."
And that's the beauty of collecting, isn't it? Yeah. It's that's you know, just having that debate about what's right, what's wrong. And to be fair, you're probably both right. You know what I mean? But it's just actually these pair are a little bit different.
And as long as you're open to that debate,
absolutely.
Not like, no, it's not right. It's not what I think. Then yeah, it is a great world to be in. Yeah, frustrating world,
very frustrating.
As we all know, but it's a great world to be in.